My name's Mark Rollian. Okay, so we would be streaming once again. And yesterday, as you guys know, we were trying our best to actually build, systems or something. Right now, I'll get 2 new monitors, by the way. So then we'll have 4 monitors. So multitasking would become a really easy, easy thing to do. Because right now, what I did realize is that, like multitasking is kind of really hard, right? So first of all, let me open up the vault that needs to be opened up. All right, let me get my let me get the things that we kind of like use to multitask or something. Yeah, we got this, and we are streaming code. So let's just remove the to-do list. All right, and yeah, we did design IBT, which is like ideal body temperature. So we calculate ideal body temperature. Then we've got AOT, which is like approximate outside temperature. Everything is calculated in words in the system we have built. And then we've got room and AC conditions, right? So what we're doing is like, we first got the user information, because this is at first, and then I did realize, this is one thing I did realize, is that this system is not going to work out for let's say a lot of people, right? Because I mean, in our systems, what we okay, if I like, I had drawn in here too, but I'll just draw it on actually draw a simple explanation. Okay, the design, right? So in design, what we did find out, let's say per se, okay, this was like the front end, right? We do need to design front end, but I did realize this was never going to become $1 billion, or sorry, because like, yeah, the market is really worth $1 billion, but this would never become, first of all, per se, like let's say the sensor we were talking about, right? Like we would create an IR sensor, or like an IR blast or something. So what it does is like, it pretty much understands from it. But the problem with this IR blast is like, here, you need, for it to work, you need something that calculates temperature, right? You need a hub, right, that connects with a phone. Then you need IR blast, right? You need IR blast. All right, and then you need like maybe a sensor or something, right, and a humidity checker that checks humidity. I think that in itself would cost 3,000 rupees, which is somewhere about $100 or seven. So that's somewhere about $20 to $40, right? Somewhere between that, like that. All right, so it's not cheap. It's not cheap like our intention was. But then again, if it's a one-time investment, that kind of like saves hundreds of like if you have 10, 20 ACs, like it works. It works. So I'm not gonna. But the problem is like human problem. So what the biggest problem is, like, let's say for example, and this is what we either have to work around ourselves with, or we either have to drop the idea. So from human problem, I mean, let's say for example, you have a room, right? Let's say this is a room. Let's say you have a room, right? You have a sensor that constantly checks info. Okay, we need to personal use system, in which there's only one person in the room, right? And then there's like multi-use, like multi-use, so in which you can have 100 or even thousands of people. All you need is just this blast, right? So now because like, yeah, you can never use the because the personal use system would always fail in an area where there's like, because personal use pretty much take your body information, pretty much takes your environmental, like for example, this environmental heat that coming into the room, right? So it's like, it's only for personal use, right? So now you can see like the problem with IBT is like, it calculates only like the one person. So like you cannot just literally like, pass down all the information of all the people or something. So that is one problem with the IBT, and it can never track how many people are entering or something. So that's the problem with IBT, of course, and not a problem. It's doing its job correctly. It's just that the system could never actually, yeah. And then you have AOT, approx outside temperature, is pretty much easily calculated, which is not a big thing. And you can then have like a basic question as to where the thing is. All right. But and then you have room temperature and AC condition is also that can be given, right? And the calculation can also happen. But the thing is, we need an IR blast, like something like that constantly keep tracks of room temperature, because like the more the people there are, okay, the more, so the environmental condition would still remain the same. The hall would still remain the same. I mean, the problem is this, I like AOT, and like the system can always keep track of AOT all the time. A system can always keep track of like room and AC conditions all the fucking time. But it can never keep track of ideal body. Like, if you are a gym, let's say this is a gym, let's say this is not a room, but let's say this is a gym or something. So now what happens? Now something interesting happened. This is a gym. Now something interesting happened, because the problem with the gym is like, new people come, new people leave, and they constantly come and constantly leave. It's not like a room where you sit for about 6 hours or something, or like, let's say like for 7 hours or something, and when you turn off the AC, that means you left the room or something. Like it's not that, right? It's not working in that sense, right? So when we have IR blast, so what IR blast does, or this is pretty epic, What IR Blast does is like it can keep track of room temperature. So as soon as it keeps track of room temperature, it doesn't need to keep track of the ID, like IBT, ideal body temperature. It just doesn't need to keep track of it. So if it doesn't need to keep track of it, you'll say, okay, very good. So how is that advantageous? And my friend, that is absolutely advantageous, because now it can need, let's say for example, it can say, okay, let's say this is a gym where older people come, right? So their ideal body temperature would be somewhere about 22 to, let's say, 28. All right. So it will get with the mean. So it will go with 26. The system would actually try to maintain, like, 24 to 26. 24 to 26, that would be the mean, right? So, or maybe that would be 25, right? So 25, let's just say with 25, right? So we'll go with the mean, I guess. Yeah, 25. So now the thing with the system is like, okay, now it'll say, right, what do you mean? And I'm like, okay, so the system would maintain 25 degrees Celsius temperature in the room no matter what, right? No matter what. So that's what it's going to maintain. Right. Yeah, even, and then it can actually communicate with phone. It can actually, with, once we got the IR hub or something that costs just about 2000 or something, like 2000 or something, right? Or we're gonna make it somewhere under $40. We're gonna make it something under $40, because after that it's just too expensive, right? I mean, like, yeah, it's just too expensive after. Like, I need to make it sure that it's under $20. Like, yeah, like it doesn't needs to be more expensive than $20 if you can actually, let's say for example, yeah, let me just ask my charger, because this is like the main business after some point. It's like, yeah, so like you can just need this shit, and this shit would actually connect to all the ACs and different kind of stuff from fan or different kind of stuff you have. All right. And as soon as it connects with all the thing, it can pretty much know what temperature and what area and everything is. So once you actually feed in the information, you are having a premium, what do you call it? Like a premium havoc engineering, where like, yeah, so stuff like that. You get what I mean, right? We can teach people installation part through YouTube videos. So I literally create YouTube like videos right now. Like, so I just need to create explanation part. Okay, how this thing functions, what you can do with it and stuff, and then translate that. And auto translation is kind of easy. So creating explanations and tutorials for people would not be that harder, right, guys? That is something like, yeah, it would not be hard at all, right? And I do need multiple monitors, man. I really do need multiple monitors. This is getting really small. I mean, like really small. I mean, if just one more monitor would have been actually kind of like a, okay. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, this kind of works too. But man, it doesn't work as that efficiently. But you see what I'm saying, right? So like, let me just do this, right? So that's the thing that we have here, right? And that just looks so ugly for some reason. Let me just select all this, by the way. I'm just taking it out a little so that, yeah, we can keep track of what's actually happening here. And let me just progress of books. No, we just need to change that to progress of code. Today is day 11. Our net worth is still $0. That is the only thing that matters. Money matters here. Right, money is the only matrix that we're gonna keep track in this. Like, yeah, I literally don't care about anything more than money, right? And this is like our design that's going on. So let me just ask my friend, like, yeah, I do need a lot of tabs, man. I do need, I just need multiple monitors at this point. Right, and let me just get some, like, we need to add a project. We need to create a new project. I already have so many projects going on. Well, a lot of them are not something that I use anymore, but then again, you got the gist. We can like add project, yeah, and we can go like our SaaS business. So like, yeah, SaaS business, if the spelling is right. If even if it's not right, it doesn't really matter. I think BUS, it's not BUSSINES, it's BUS, right? Business, right? Is that the spelling of business, or if B? Yeah, that's the spelling of business. I got double S, so let's just edit that real quick. Mm. This entire project is about me creating my own first SaaS business to give me most asymmetric advice when it comes to businesses, market understanding. Like, yeah, it's all about building a business. ChatGPT, I'm about to create like a new project, like, so give me like, yeah, and I want to, like, when I'm creating a new project, like, I need to, like, in ChatGPT for chats, I need to give it more better instructions. So like, this is what I wrote, but I want you to improve this. the yeah, this is more than enough, right? So I think this does do a good job or a great job. Yeah, my project. Let me just add a like a yeah. Now it looks like something that's worth the right. And let me just add chats. Asymmetric breakfast. Asymmetric breakfast. Yeah, I changed my breakfast. Like go for muesli, eggs, banana, uh, eggs, banana, muesli, milk. And what was the last thing? Peanut butter. Anti-fragile and keynotes. No, 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 no. ACTV remote architecture. Yeah, move project to SaaS business. What is SaaS? Move project to SaaS business. Remote AC remote connect move project to SaaS business. Product margin comparison. Okay, what is that? Okay, yeah, margins. Like yeah, let me just move that to SaaS business. Like yeah, I'm not doing coding anymore, so creating diet for losses. Body temperature regulation, move that to SaaS business because that's what I'm doing. Dominating to SaaS business, improving predictive models, second order effect, predictive models versus startup market insights, autonomous temperature control. This is the design SaaS business. Design mobile apps, move project to SaaS business, improving predictive models, second startup market insights, move that to SaaS business. Social sleep friction, BMI and weight status, radical honesty dynamics, honesty and really investing in compounding, asymmetric business insight. Yeah, but later, a lot of things that I've done on businesses too. I mean, yeah, so we can have like an entire, like, what do you call that? Um, yeah, uh-huh. Yeah. I drink a lot when I'm on stream. I shit a lot when I'm on stream. Market. Oh yeah. By the way, there's one thing that we need to do. Okay. Docs. Control life panel. I need multiple monitors. I need multiple. At least just one more would be do a great job. Just one more monitor would do a great job, and two would be like epic. All right. After that, I don't think so. After that, it's diminishing returns. Not much. Autonomous temperature control. So yeah, four monitors are something what I need. Like this two, this like one is like obsidian. Like one would have like obsidian drawing. One would have like a main like talking to ChatGPT or something, and then like one would have something else entirely. Like one would have stream. So this is here monitor has stream, and this is just the second. Like so, one monitor is like shows the stream, right? So yeah, I think I do need a lot of monitors, babe. Like yeah, guys. Startup app, market insight, design mobile apps. Could you tell me from start how do I actually do that? Anti design mobile startup markets app. Yeah, autonomous temperature control. Like, no, you don't get it. I'm not creating a hardware. I'm just creating software. Yeah, the ChatGPT was pushing me to build a software or something, probably. Yeah, but yeah, it was kind of like yeah. I think our first target market would be people with smart AC. I think like yeah, I mean, in market. Okay, by the way, what is the market? Okay, ChatGPT, could you tell me what the market consists of? Like, or let's leave prediction. I think there are people with smart ACs, right? They can easily connect to Wi-Fi or something, and then there's people with not smart ACs, right? And there's like people who have a lot of ACs and they want multiple AC managed. Let's say people, gym owners, corporations, stuff like that. All right, like something like. But then there's very big corporations, right, that have like hundreds of thousands of like thousands of ACs in their entire, because they have like not thousands of rooms, but you get the pretty idea. Like yeah, a lot of AC, right, or something. Like what does the market consist of majorly? Not Chad. Each time it's Chad. Okay. B2C, individual consumers. They think of market in layers. They are different. Very. First of all, we need to start with B2C. Now you'll say, okay, Varric, why not B2B, right? And the problem with B2B is like B2B has a like a huge amount of ACs. Like They don't. And as soon as we have, like, there's personal comfort, like there's personal use that we are trying to build here. So like the personal use can only happen because we assume that there's only one person in a room. Person in a room. In a room. So like, or one or two person in a room. That's what we pretty much assume, right? So this would be like B2C. One to like persons, like, yeah, so it could just start from one, two, three, four. Like, yeah, we can add four person and we can just add like who is in already in the room or something, right? So if you have a family, you can use it. If you have like, but as soon as it's like, yeah, b to c, like you pretty much cannot add, like, yeah. So like B2B, sorry. In B2B, there's hundreds of thousands of customers coming, like, not thousands, but yeah, hundreds of people. And like you can just literally add everyone manually and track who's entering and not entering. Right. So one person, one living room, usually 1 to 3 AC per home. Pain points for getting to turn off AC, walking up to cold, electric bills, constantly changing temperature, willingness to pay low. Willingness to pay low. Yeah, this is the biggest problem. Most people may pay that a month. Difficult to monetize. Oh yeah, I did stop it. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should connect with my phone hotspot or something. Connection for waiting for the complete. What? Oh yeah. My bill is high. I wake up cold at 3 a.m. The challenge. People want maybe that the massive market, low revenue per user. Family with smart homes, smaller market. Maybe it's not itna mahina, right? Like, yeah, they can pay this much. Small business expense, clinic, saloons, caffeine. Usually, it's not with an IC. Employees forget a ton of AC. Electric bills are high. This is where things are interesting. Saving itna month is meaningful. Paying itna becomes reasonable. Gyms, a surprisingly interesting niche. Member complaints about temperature. Trainers constantly adjust AC. Electric bills is large. Environment change throughout the morning curve. Evening curves could benefit from automation. Hotels, very interesting. Hotels already lose money because AC running, room control when empty. Problem, reduce energy cost without end. Hotels understand ROI. Oh my gosh, forget about hotel. Yeah, if you 50,000 a year, they'll listen. They'll literally listen. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, they'll this thing. I forget about segment 5, school and coaching institutions. AC left running, nobody responsible. Budgets are often tight. Slow sales process. Yeah. Large enterprises, example corporate machines. I mean, we need human sensors. Like the AC can know. I mean, okay. How do you add? Because when we are, because I think first of all, we just starting with personal use. As soon as we got into personal use market, like people with one or two AC in the house or something, we would quickly pivot to, like, small families with smartphones. Like segment 1, segment 2 is what we're going to currently targeting. Segment 3, like small businesses, like that's what we're going to target as soon as we got our first product, right? Which is like a digital product. So like you get about it, like, yeah, they can pay about 2000, like, paying 500 a month become reasonable at this segment. Like this is like, gyms, like, yeah, paying money here become like, but what you need is you need a sensor that can sense if there are people in the room or not. You need a sensors, like literal sensors. But how do you have some sensors like that? I need to ask the cost of sensors like that. ChatGPT, like what would be the okay? SaaS business. Go ahead, new chat. ChatGPT. It never hurts. ChatGPT felt. Yeah, it's Chandip. What the? It never. ChatGPT. See, it still doesn't hurt. ChatGPT. Fuck. So could you tell me, like, yeah, maybe I should actually get out of the habit of calling it ChatGPT or something. ChatGPT. 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 It still doesn't hurt. Chandipati. What the fuck is that? Wait a sec. I know the solution. Yeah, there's only English selected, like, right? There's only. So how is it like ChatGPT? Chandipati. What? What? Candidate. Yeah. Okay. So could you tell me like what does a sensor cost? Like I want a human like sensors that can actually sense if there's a human in a room or not, or how many humans are there or something. Like how do we have like something like sensors, right? Like yeah, like how much do they cost? Like the cheapest one, and like are they like yeah, I want to know of sensors. Now they may cost absurdly high. If they cost absurdly high, then we can only target premium holders. What? Wait, what? 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 It's that cheap! Oh my gosh! That's changed the entire game. Used in automatic lights cannot count people, cannot tell if someone is sitting completely still. For AC startup, it's almost too dumb because a person could be sleeping or reading quietly, and the sensor may think the room is empty. Okay, if they are sitting still, detect present. Okay, 399, 500, 1000. Okay, they are getting expensive. 500. The roughly cost roughly depending on the module, user radar waves instead of heat can detect tiny movements like breathing, maze, barefoot smart climate control. Still don't reliably count people. This is probably the sweet spot for you. Yeah, we do not need the number of people, but yeah, there are exactly 3 people in the room. This is roughly 5,000. 53,000. People counting sensors like yeah, people. Okay, professional people counting. Sensors cost itna used in retail stores, off airports, offices can estimate company traffic expensive for customers. For your automatic AC idea, I would challenge one assumption. You may not need to know the number of people. The room temperature itself tells you a lot, right? And like for example, zero room slowly adjust towards outdoor. Roughly not the watts of heat added. For people, it's not hard. A single sensor, itna plus temperature and humidity sensor, itna may already be enough to make us. I'm sorry. You can infer a company from changes in heat load instead of paying thousands for precise people calculating. I would start there worrying about exact head counts. The physics of the room may give you enough information much more cheaply. Exactly, right? Exactly. We do not need this stuff. So if you ChatGPT, could you generate an approx price if I try to add systems like first of all, there's a heat like heat detect Okay, so yeah, I don't know at this point like ChatGPT. I'm so ChatGPT. I'm so. Oh. I need to get out of the habit of saying ChatGPT because it's kind of always fucking at this point. So what I want you to tell me is like, okay, what is the total cost of let's say if I pulled sensors that sense humans, like that is the first thing we have, right? And then I add a temperature sensor that kind of like sense the room temperature, and then I kind of also add a you know an IR blast, right? That kind of like take information and sends information. So it's blast like yeah, it takes information, and so yeah, it takes IR waves and also sends them. And then I had add a hub or something that kind of like connects multiple the IR blast to a hub. The hub connects to a phone, right, or something. And this like yeah, so this small tool, if I try to make that like yeah, sensors not expensive like you said, right? I mean like the detect presence sensors, like yeah, like yeah, so a human is in the room even if they're sitting, something basic as that, right, which can just at least let us know that there are some people in the room. Yeah, so if I add all of that, how much costing do you think would be like the minimum and the maximum? How much price? Yeah, I think our game would not be, we would not earn from hardware, like yeah, we are not targeting hardware. We would not even earn a single penny from the hardware. In fact, we may even lose money from the hardware, right? So for example, if one person gets convinced by our product, and if they buy the hardware, we may even have to sell the hardware for free. Let's say they use 500, yeah, we may even have to sell hardware for free at some point. Yeah, component cheap, per consumer, wave sensors 1500. All right, PC, total hardware, prototype roughly, polished version 2000 to 500. Right, so there one central hub controlling multiple rooms. Now suppose room nodes. Each room present sensor temperature. Cost per central hub. A hub is milli device and talks to the phone. Cost basic hub, more polished hub. Right, so a house with 3 AC cube rooms might cost a hub itna 3 room nodes itna That's total manufacturing cost around it on low end. A polished version can easily reach its 9 hardware costs, right? But here's the more important: do you even need a hub? ESPC already has Wi-Fi and can communicate directly with hubs entirely. Architecture could simply be room censored and wave sensor, temperature sensors, IR blast, especially Wi-Fi to router to phone app. Your bill material cost itna per room. This expensive part of the business probably not the hardware. A few thousand rupees of electronics is manageable. The difficult part is software question. People are present in the room is 30 degree. What temperature should AC be set right now? The inference engine, understanding comfort, learning preferences, adapting to changing is likely where most of the value differences you could come from. The hardware itself is increasingly commoditized. Right. So I think the hardware would never cost too much, and we would like, yeah. So that means the hardware. Oh my! At like at night I was thinking like we may not be targeting different people, but now I think we can have like a notes, like because I do not know how like the noobs like each room needs like a room node, presence sensor, temperature, IRS cost about it night at time, and then you have a central hub, right? So it's like you could have like a cheap ones like for thousands. It's like if you have 10 rooms, like yeah, and all of them connects to a single node, but right, and it's like they send like hub, so they connect to through Wi-Fi or something, small microcontroller. So like it's like multiple Wi-Fi link. So it's like yeah. So if you can have like a small node that connects like that has these things, and they send signal to the AC. Hey, so I was thinking like, oh yeah, the idea of room node is exactly what I was thinking. So it's like the room node will be connected to the AC in the room, and then they would have Wi-Fi, and they would also, so they would send IR blast or something to the AC within a room, and they would be connected to using the Wi-Fi, like yeah, hub to a different room, and they would send signals to that hub, right? So there would be multiple room, right, with multiple room nodes that's connected to a central hub. So this, I think, this kind of like saves us from the wall problem, right? Because IR blast can never send signal through a wall, but if it's connected to Wi-Fi through a hub, like everyone, like I think that, like yeah, I think room nodes would be something like even like the whole company could actually, because if you have hundreds of rooms, right, and of hundreds of rooms, like I know you would have to buy like range of the Wi-Fi should be higher. That's why like the problem would become premium. But if you don't have hundreds of room, if you just have like a gym or something, I mean the room nodes kind of like process comes out to be really efficient because there's multiple rooms and multiple sections for multiple areas, right? So it's like one IR blaster can never do that, like the one hub could never do the job what they wanted to do. So we need like nodes, right, that does the job for us, right, in different areas or sections or something, right? Yeah. And okay, and what we can actually also have is that yeah, we can actually apply the room node process to like to the what do you call it, like to the hotels too. It's like each node would have its own memory a slightly bit, right? That would increase the cost of price, but it's like each node can send information to the closest node, and closest node would send information to its closer node. And at the end of the day, even if you have like thousands of room in a line, like the information would still reach the main hub, right? So it's like, yeah, it's like node connectivity or something. So it's like you have like one room and then another room besides it, and then another and another and another. So it's a total, there's at least 10 rooms in a line. So from the one end, like the information will keep on passing from one to, like, yeah, from nodes to nodes. So we can have nodes connected to Wi-Fi by themselves too, right? Nodes connected to nodes, like, yeah, something like that. Okay, where does it got paste? Where does it got paste? I don't know. Okay, we just need to do one thing. We just need to open our, where's, but this, as in, yeah, this is like the hardware part, IR blaster or something. This is one of the most cheap and simple. Messy room notes plus hub, your idea. Ah, Single point of failure. Okay. Ah, but I guess we can actually ChatGPT kind of like solve the problem for it, because if the systems have Wi-Fi in themselves, it solves the entire problem. Because if you are a good hotel, you do give a Wi-Fi, less load on, so we can like each hotel has a Wi-Fi, so we just need a Wi-Fi connectivity. So yeah, it can connect directly to the hotel room. It can send, yeah, it sends information through the Wi-Fi to the main hub or something. Yeah. It shuts off by itself or something. I need to go and shit finally. I will come back. I think guys, the solution and this like is may not all that be golden and sunshine. Trust me. I mean, I'm seeing like constraints, some constraints. Like for example, like what the new constraints that I just said. Well, that all I need is sleep. Just kidding. That's my wallpaper. So the new constraint that like this is what like you're referring towards designing infrastructure for a hypothetical hotel with thousands of rooms before validating whether a single room controller actually saves enough money or improves comfort that someone will pay for it. Yeah, and I did realize like okay, how much money can we save? This is the only question. Like, because the thing with hotels and stuff like that, okay, not with gyms, but with hotels specifically, is like they have the key holder. If you remember, I think this is not the problem with corporations, right? They are more, but I mean, like they don't have those structures, but hotels have those key structures. So what it does, but hotels are more competitive, right? And they try their hotels to look best. That's why they would rather buy a piece of technology that kind of like creates a new aesthetic to their hotels. So that's another thing. But then again, if you they have the key and they put a key in the key holder or something, now what happens is like, so because of that, all right, I mean, you place a key in the holder or something, and only then the electricity of the room would charge, and each time you need to leave the room you have to take out the key. So it's like it's a simple design that all like turn off all the things in the hotel, start all of the things. So they do save a lot of money because of that. Just so you guys know. All right. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, I need then then that's the only question worth asking. Then let's ask the only question worth asking. How much money do you think that like one single room controller would actually save? Like, yeah, let's say first right now, like on the like the start at the side, it would be just app based, right? Not the hardware. There would be no hardware. There would be only software. But yeah, so like the first thing is like yeah, how much do you think like it would a single room controller actually save like how much money and improve how much comfort for someone? Like, do you think it would enough like it would save enough money and comfort? Like, because think about it, like at night, like when you have sensors, you leave the room, you do not have to worry about turning off the fan, lights, or AC. Like, we can actually scale the the project or something. But that's for the future right now. Because for right now, I mean, the thing is like like these kind of small things are getting automated. But I think the problem why I started with AC is because AC is really a pain in the ass compared to other things, right? Especially at the night. It's all about comfort right now. It's not about like and about saving electricity. So how much do you think we would be able to save? I mean, we need to either have a strategy, like maybe in the software, like software can know. Let's say for example, if I run like let's say for 18, like how like okay, let me just rephrase it. How do you think can we save money using a software? For example, you run AC at 18 degrees Celsius and then you close it off for 10 minutes and then you turn it on when the room starts to get heat up by itself. That would save money, or at least that would appear to people that it's saving money. Like, because this is a strategy number one. Strategy number two would be, let's just like maintaining the AC at 25, 26 degrees Celsius, right? And then turn it on in between, and then turning it on and turning it off, rather than changing the temperature. So rather than saying, okay, it should move from 27 to 26 or 23, it would just go from 27 and then it would turn off, right? Or maybe it would like and then it would turn on again. So for example, you want the room temperature to be 23, right? So it will be at 23, and now the room is still chill. And so rather than moving towards 27, it will shut off. That's another strategy, and then we'll turn on again. But that is the main thing. If you're seeing, right, what saves money and improves comfort for people, or at least appears to be saving a lot of money. The appearance is what matters. Because masses are kind of dumb. Masses are really kind of dumb. We can lie about that it's saving money, like even if it doesn't save money. Ah, AC already cycles on and off. If you say 24, many more invented AC don't simply blast. Versus speed cycle intelligently cool at 80 degree turn off 10 times. pull the temperature back down. It's like driving a car. Hmm. So when it comes to like commercials, like when it comes to so when it comes to so when it comes to B2C, it should be more about comfort, and when it comes to B2B, it should be more about saving money and comfort too. But yeah, saving money, I suppose. You can sell it by cooling or something like comfort plus savings or something. Now it's target both. It targets B2B. It also targets B2C. So it targets both this time. Like this kind of iteration if you do it. And I don't like this style. I would rather have this and I would rather have that. Hmm. Something like maximum cooling and minimum comfort would work, right? Oh, I said exact opposite. Something like maximum comfort and minimum bill would work, right? Like, yeah, that would be the market positioning or something. Like maximum comfort and minimum bill or something like that. I mean, like, I think front end should be the last thing I should focus on. First thing I should focus on is creating a software that connects to my AC and start testing the thing rather than building a front end first. Yeah, but let's see what Gemini also has to say about it. Is there a way I can change avatar? What is that? Better? No. Oh, this is lagging. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Hmm. You would like, yeah, I need to do, or at least need to get a lot of work done. So we've kind of like transported memory too, I guess. Right. So let me just remove that. Okay, no, I do need both of the Geminis though. Multiple accounts always just seems effective, trust me. Wait, okay, I just ended up opening the same Gemini. Right. So yeah, my SaaS project. I should have used Pro, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Can I import chats? You cannot import, right? Like chats from one account to another. Yeah, that's like something that is not the best thing for us because like, yeah, I need this thing right now. And I think Pro would take a lot of computation or something. Bounce Grano Scrutator, yeah. Hey, now I want you to check all of your mathematical equations that you have kind of like. What I want you to do is actually check all of the mathematical equations that you're doing and check the validity of them if they are like correct or not or something. All right. Yeah, do that. Now explain me every equation and what does it do? And how does it all connect to the final equation that you created? Now explain all of the equation and how do they connect to the last and final equation, right? And what do they calculate? And what are we even calculating? And like conversion, everything. Like, I give a detailed explanation for someone who is a dropout like me, who doesn't understand all the math and physics and stuff like that. Yeah, right. I think this is what a business is all about: solving problems after problems after problems for the people and then getting feedback over them. I think the first biggest mistake that we did is we tried to escalate through hurdles and all that stuff without even checking that if it's working for one person or not. Magic, they're just common sense wrapped in immediate intimating system. You only need to understand the heat point watts. Think of watts as a single unit of thermal energy moving around. The entire goal of your app is to balance inject book insert so your room feels perfectly comfortable. Here is the translation of every single equation we use, what it calculates and it connects at the end. You are walking, breathing heater. System's the only job is to figure out exactly how many heat points room. Yeah. So your body surface area, BSA, right? So we have, yeah, this is IDE, ideal body, IBT, ideal body temperature system that we had. Means calculate physical square footage of your skin. Your skin is a radius. Equation 2b. So what it means, let's calculate the amount of internal fuel your body burns just to stay alive. Your digestion. The wattage conversion calorie of confusing metric. We multiply your BMR by tiny number. We find out what a guy with your height, what you literally 100 light, but that AC has to deal with. Right, the world, the weather bully. System B job is to figure out how expensive. So why do we need like a BSA, body surface area? Ah, the bigger the radiator. Figure how aggressively outside world is trying to shove heat points through the wall. Don't let your scare with math symbols fool you. This is just calculate how sticky the air is. High humidity means the air is full of water, holds massive amounts of heat, which makes your AC work twice as hard to dry the air out before it can even start cooling it. Ah, yeah, we can have modes, different modes and different things, right? So for cool or something. Approximate outside air AOT. Cooling business. Could you could anyone ever imagine that I would be in AC business or something? Like if you were 5 years ago telling me not an AC business but trying to solve that. I think that's how startups are formed. It's like you come up with an idea or something and okay, yeah, I have some side hairs. I shouldn't have them. I should get them cut. But I guess that's kind of ugly, but yeah. It's kind of not that great, but honestly, this one's a slight lighter than yeah, or something. Okay, but I would have never thought that I would be in the AC business or something when building up an AC startup. The market size is big enough to not worry about the product not working because it will work. But the thing is, can we really make it work now? So we calculate BSA, body surface area, then we calculate BMR. Dew point calculate how much humidity there is, approximate outside temperature AOT. To weather apply. They tell you temperature in the shade. This equation adds the sun hitting your actual brick wall. If 44 degree. No, I don't get it. Okay, in Rajasthan, this constant would be different. That's what he said. Figure out what we are actually trying to cool and how strong your weapon is. Total air mass, right? Yeah, so you aren't cooling empty space, you're cooling physical gas. This takes the size. How much you have about 50 air trapped inside this bucket of water we have to empty. AC power conversion. AC companies use wired marketing words like, do you by the laws of physics cooled now watts of cooling power if the heat is water leaking? The grand finale, the master equation here's VNC connect system D is referee. Trying to empty the heat out of the room while it's pumping, the sun system B is dumping heat back through the vault. System A is sweating into the room. Here's the final ultimate equation that connects everything together. P net PAC Qli Qmeet, the actual cooling power left over. Your AC power example. Making an example, so it's like 500 watts. The calculation. Even though you paid 5,000 watt AC because the Rajasthan heat in your body and of the room. So it's like in watts, everything is calculated. This number, the countdown timer. Take the amount of air in the room left over by it now. How many minutes it will take for your room to feel cold? Okay. The gliding temperature. The walls eventually get freezing cold running all night. They stop radiating heat onto you. This equation tells us, hey, walls cool now. Stop. 6 of the human don't freeze. Okay, but there's still some problems with the equation, I suppose. Like how, because these equation doesn't tell, like, because it takes about, let's say, for example, I'm running, there's constant change, right? There's constant change. I mean, constantly changing. But the outside environment is constantly changing, right? I mean, if the outside environment is constantly changing, then how do you fix that problem, guys? Like, if it's constantly changing, and if the like it's throwing air, which is good, voila, great. But outside environment is also throwing heat, right? Outside environment is also throwing heat again and again. It's like a recursive process that's just constantly happening. Like we need a system that constantly update itself, something like that. I mean, like because like what is the systems made of? Aha, I need multiple screen, babe. But for example, what is the system? First of all, you have like the heat bulb, which is you have human. So this is like a okay. So this is like the system A. So this produces heat. This organism right here produces what or heat. So this produces heat. This is like the first form of heat that we have here, right? And if we go like if you just do the full screen, right? So we have the first heat producer, which is like a human. Then the second heat producer is the sun or something. So you have sun, which is 2. So this is system 2 that produces heat again, right? So we have two things, and then we have the room size and how long has it been heated or something. So the room temperature, right, or something. But then again, like, how would the app know, right, that okay, the temperature is rising, right, and we need to decrease yeah the changes in room temperature, right? It tries to find out IDE, ideal body temperature, but like then again, like how? And then even if it does find out ideal body temperature, I need a smart AC. Do I not have a smart AC or something? I need to do man, I need to first connect the app. I need to really start protesting or something. Maybe app or something, but like how? Okay. I need to know how do I connect my okay, ChatGPT, I think I do have a smart AC, but how do I connect to a Wi-Fi and connect to like a phone application or something? Okay, fuck. Symbol on its remote. Okay, so my AC is not a smart AC. It's written nowhere. Dakin is written, and the symbol of Dakin company is there, but not the internet symbol. Dakin smart app for Dakin AC or something. Okay, I did put my phone on do not disturb. Oh, I didn't. I should have. Do not disturb. Put the AC into pairing mode. Use. Okay, I think I do not have like a smart AC. Okay. Smart. How do I know my AC is smart AC? Like, yeah, it's 1.5 star new rated inverter split. But how do you know that they are smart or not? Okay. Oh yeah, the remote. Smell proof, good sleep, display, dew clean. I don't know what the fuck that is. Swing filter, Canada mode, echo, swing fan. Yeah, it still doesn't show like the. Does it connect to app automatically or something? So put AC into pairing mode. Usually hold Wi-Fi button on the remote for 5. Ah, that app that I downloaded was an IR Blaster app. So it only works if you have an IR Blaster on your phone. Right. We can actually connect this to the tower. The brand is Dakin. And on the remote, it's written ARC470825. 0 A. No, it doesn't have. QR code, it doesn't have a Wi-Fi symbol, does it? Oh man, just my fucking luck. Do I need to convince my dad to get to a smart AC or something to build a product, and then I'm kind of fucked. Okay, it's not okay. Model number looks something like where would be? Oh, there. I still won't be able to see it, so the better calculation is to just take a photo of it by doing some crazy shit. Does it really have to take a blur photo of this shit? Now all we had to do is like we got the serial number, guys. Like yeah, that was on there if you can see. Now all we have to do is send the ChatGPT this thing or something, right? And then I guess it would be able to. It should, if not, what it should be able to, I guess, tell us about the AC. Now it should be able to tell us. Let's take some time. Okay, finally taken. Is it now 1.3 split AC? It's built-in app control. The Wi-Fi model usually have names like it's night, etc. Turn the AC on. It doesn't show any symbol like that. Disconnect appears. Wi-Fi enabled. Ah, so then we don't have a smart AC. We have a fucking stupid AC, I suppose. Yeah, let's just see. Yeah, we have a control through app alone. Need external controller. The easiest way. Yeah, so my AC is not smart. So what should I do? Like, if I want, because like it's in my room and I want to test it repeatedly for my software and the software I'm designing. So I can't just remove the AC and build and replace it with a buy a new one and replace it. Like you're giving the solution where it says ESP32 device or something. Like yeah, I can use that to connect my AC right with my phone right now and do all the experiments that I need to do, because I do need to repeatedly test whether because the software kind of like designs the ideal body temperature for you and tries to find out like yeah learns from you. So all that different kind of stuff would require me to have my AC connected to the software or something, you know but I don't have the software connected, but I can still send the signal and can still get information just from the software, right, without being connected to the AC. So how do I do that? Is there's a device, guys? We do not have a smart AC, but it doesn't really matter because what we're gonna do is like we still need experimentation and try to find out. We can now need to buy a new AC. In fact, your old non-smart Deacon AC is almost perfect for prototyping. Your app, Wi-Fi, EP out like a remote, robotic remote control. Yeah, so I think we could have a software. I mean, we do need to buy something just right now, real quick. We can we have a software, which is not a problem, okay. But I mean, the real thing that we need is like SP32. Right. Yeah, we need this. Like, okay, we need this. And how do we room development board, dual Wi-Fi, Bluetooth dual cores? I mean, we just need a cheap ass one that can get us. Yeah, looks really nice. IR like a remote that can espaciously become a robotic remote control. What you can do, your software can turn AC on, change the temperature, change the fan, change model, learn user preference and That's already enough to test almost your. No, your AC will not talk back to your software. It has no Wi-Fi and no API. Your app won't automatically know whether change the remote control you're using or whether someone turned the AC off. But we can add a receiver. So each time you send, it receives. Okay, we can add a receiver to the AC. By AC, but here's the interesting way. You can create your own feedback loop. Add USB center to, and then your software gets itna time previous settings itna can learn whether the humidity is high, the user is reading at night. They prefer itna. When sleeping, they gradually prefer itna. You do not need data from, oh yeah, but we sleep, our body temperature changes too. So humidity and room temperature changes too. So you can have a body sensor too. Oh my gosh. And if that can give readings too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Use environmental data, use the commands of your own. So build a recommendation engine. One problem remains. Suppose your app sets AC to 26 degrees Celsius. ASPC though. You have several solutions. App, this is perfectly fine for initial testing. Bear, receiver on ASPDC2. Send command to AC. Now when you press the physical remote, the software knows exactly what happened. This is surprising. The NIR receiver cost around 20 rupees to 50. Oh my gosh. So the setup is like, yeah, so we can have like a lot of things going on with our we can create our own feedback loops and our own system design, I suppose. No, I just okay. No. What I want you to do is like let me help me understand. Like there's I searched on Amazon, which is like the chips, like ES like ESP32. Like I do not understand how these chips would get connected. Okay, I think they do have Bluetooth in themselves, so I think they would get connected easily to my phone, and I can like yeah. So do they send like signals? Like what do I need to buy? I do not know anything about it, ChatGPT. Like really. So I need your help to set this up because I do not even know the basics. I'm a total dropout, like I told you many times. 12th dropout. Tiny computer, okay. Yeah, this is the exact one that it's showing here. But I can actually now shift to like yeah. We can shift back, I suppose. Yeah, this is like yeah IR LED. Yeah, this just receives signal, sends the same. Yeah, development board from phone pretends to be our AC remote. PIs with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Phone app, ESPC. Like yeah, this is like yeah. I need to build this from my company, I suppose. Huh. Right, so what do you need? You need ESP32 development board. Itna. All of this is learned from AI, done from AI. Telling you, AI is the future of learning. I don't know why. Oh my gosh, people are. This is a real project. Like a computer science or like what they call it, electrical engineer would like spend 3 years after. Like that's how slow they are in education or something. You learn by building everything by yourself that you care about. ESP demands commands from your phone. Development board. Okay. Okay, now control set. So we are building a basic remote that comes from app or something. Well, the thing is like this is another test. I mean, what like we are just doing this because we need to test it from the room. Like we just can't replace the AC. It's not like it will take weeks, if not like yeah, that would delay the process now. And the reason why we are actually shifting towards this because that's going to cause a lot of delay. And I know that smart AC may cost a lot, and we do not need it. Our house has a lot of ACs in itself too. Right. So that would cause a lot of disruptance and things. But here, it doesn't cause disruptance. In fact, it teaches me more. Right. It teaches me more. Like Wi-Fi, like ESP to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth dual code chip development board. Right. DV kit search for DV development board. Okay, sorry. Control C. What am I? Accidentally Control C. Control V. Okay. Development Wi-Fi Ultra. They are cheap, not too expensive. In fact, you can get them for cheaper. Yeah. But use with one USB port already. Buy with one USB port on it already. Okay. Yeah, it does have a USB port, which is a good thing. Light 30 remote sense. Okay, IR receiver module optional 20 to 50. What does this? Not necessary. This lets your system detect when you press a button. USB A to micro USB C. What is USB C? I do not know them. USB Type C. So this is USB C. I already have a lot of them. I do not need to even think about it. A lot of them, literally a lot of them. So that is like a. What else do you need? No, but USB A, USB. Um. Okay, I also have this. No need to worry about this. And micro USB. I don't know what that is, but okay. I pretty much also have this, so I do not have to worry about anything. Raspberry Pi Android Uno soldering equipment initially, custom use electric degree seriously. Into your laptop, USB, upload a tiny program. Now your phone can send messages to USB. What is that? I don't know, but it looks useful. Maybe it kind of connects this thing with something. Yeah, I do know that you'll give me all the information I need. But okay, what is like ESP32? Like, yeah, in itself, like it has Wi-Fi and all that. But there's another thing. Does it have like a IR blaster in itself, so it kind of like sends signal? Like, does it come with it, or do I need to append like one IR LED to it attached? And how would I attach to it? Like, it's just literally looks like a chip or something. Like, is there some modules there that allows you to attach an IR blaster to it or something? And now that I think about it, IR blaster technology is really good. It allows you to send information using just light. Oh my gosh. How's that happening? I don't have a good any idea, but you get the gist. Tiny computer on a boat. Okay, let's look at the image. Header spring. No dedicated infect transmitter on the board. You normally attach IRL XDD. But see, ChatGPT got me into a system, entire system design, but you can just buy this. You can just literally buy this. And it does the job for you by sending the signals from the phone. This is like an IR blaster you can have. And you can just connect it. Oh my gosh, ChatGPT was taking me such a bigger out, guys. But for some reason, I still want to build it. Flash memory, Wi-Fi radio, Bluetooth radio, lots of GPU pins, general purpose outputs and inputs. Fits for programming, but think of GPU pins as a... I do need, what they call it, the IR blaster built in. Usually, no. Does it have an IR blaster built in? Only infit transfer on the board. You can... With jumper wires, why can't it do IR blaster? Because IR remote is surprisingly simple. It's GPIO pins. But I think to test my system, I do not even need to build this because there are some already built-in like IR blasters out there that can actually get connected, like to your phone from the charging, like with your chargers in the Type C, and like yeah, it can just connect there, and when it can connect there, it can just directly send signal from the phone. So I like yeah, from my app or from my laptop. I do not even need to build all this by myself. Then we can just even check that, right? But I want to develop this from the laptop, so we are gonna buy ESP. Oh my gosh, I'm just delaying it. But then again, this is sponsored and this is Amazon choice. You all know if it's Amazon choice, you're buying it now. Okay, tell me. Okay, I'm building this all myself. I think it will take just one evening to actually get it all done, right? So tell me, what do I need to buy, right? Like first tell me, what do I need to buy? Yeah, we are already buying that, babe. But let's just buy. Wait a sec. Let me just buy things together because that kind of like costs some cheaper, I suppose. Like yeah, like let me just add this bitch to cart. Like yeah, okay, not two but one. The income IR LEDs. Yeah, just in case. Yeah, let's get five. It's so 5 pieces, right? So we have receiver. Like yeah, add to cart. Let's just add this to cart too, right? We do not need this or any of this shit. Where were we? ChatGPT. Yep, we were here. Wi-Fi. We have Wi-Fi. We have yeah. Then yeah, brain mount. Send signal like yeah. This is exactly how humans send signal through like the vocal like yeah, something like that. All right. Breadboard plus jumping market. With electron. Okay, this is like interconnection between the systems. Right, just like how your mouth allows you to connect multiple things or something, if that makes sense. Where is the Amazon choice written? The bestseller is this. Wait, that's today. Yeah, let's just fucking buy this then. If this is the bestseller. Right. Okay, let's just close this then. I can IR receiver module. I think like man, it's gonna be fun, but yeah. Oh yeah, so it is. Okay, so this receiver modules and these receiver modules are different. For ESP2 issue. And I think they are by themselves. So I think, okay, we do not need that. We would have this. I think we do not need the boat. I mean, they kind of like. Sensitivity to temperature, humidity. I think we can create YouTube content out of this. So today I'm building something like that. You see what I'm saying? Your whole product is basically trying to also, given the environment and the user, what temperature should the AC be? Oh yeah, the first YouTube video. I really got the idea of the first video. Yeah. If I do build a YouTube video. I do need an action camera, trust me. Like a phone that can be camera all the time or something. Yeah. Given the environment, the user, what temperature should the AC? What is okay? Okay, this is like okay, roughly about it. We have so awesome stuff, man. Control C. I think, but okay, they are slightly expensive rather than building, but I think it kind of like saves the job. What is Amazon's choice? $28 or something? Okay. Coding experience is done by AI, so that just take 5 minutes. The bold is several evenings. Learning system. Okay, learning system may take several. The hard part is not electronic. The electronics are almost embarrassingly. Observe and how should it infer comfort. Okay, and actually there is something which is called like receiver, but it's like it is called like IR sensor module for obstacle detection, high sensitivity infrared proximity sensor with adjustable distance, compatible with. It shows that it's compatible with Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and ESP32 projects, pack of two. So it's a sender and a receiver, and there's two packs. So I don't know what it's saying, but I think this one is far much better. Like it's also cheap, like just 150 rupees or something, right? Compared to like that things, right? I mean, like rather than buying like IR LEDs and receivers, I think this one acts as both. Like I think it receives and send information, while I think it's like, yeah, it can directly connect into like, ESP 32 projects or something. Is it like, yeah, maybe I should buy this thing actually. So that would actually, I would not a breadboard. I would not need to buy breadboard then and wires or something, or do I still need to buy them? And like, yeah. And as for, because yeah, I will buy both like IR receiver and DHT22, right? So and what is this like DHT22 like you know I wanted to know like it checks like the temperature and the humidity of the room. I mean, we do need to do that because I'm also creating equations that pretty much tries to calculate a rough on the basis of like the environmental, like like it tries to calculate like on the basis of like the weather API and the room size and how many people in the room. It pretty much tries to actually calculate the room temperature. So if I have a machine that can actually validate and give feedback if the room temperature I'm calculating is right or wrong, then that would be great. So that's why I would also be buying DHT22, but I don't know what to buy in that because there's like a lot of options online or something. Right. For that. So like I pretty much do not know, I suppose. Okay, it didn't control C. That's all right actually. It doesn't really matter that much. Uh tiny motion proximity. It cannot act as an AC remote. Okay, okay. What do you actually need? It's a motion sensor or it detects motion. Oh my gosh. Now like there's yeah. Like yeah, for him, like yeah, for him, Vim, ideal for serious hobby projects. Yep. And breadboard and jumper wires. I mean, I think they're buying in bulk or something. But this is like yeah, I guess because now that I'm really thinking about it, guys. If I really start thinking about it, the more I think about it, the more inevitable it gets. Is extremely useful. What do I have? We've got to say like yeah. For specifics, how do I do? Okay, they are cheap and they work. Right, you are selected, and this is not selected. This is not selected. This is selected. I think, okay. Oh, you are a receiver. Ah, this thing. Okay. We do need this thing. 97, 23. Okay, 23 bought this. 27 bought this. What is the difference? They're giving 5 for. It's not trusted. Trust. Amazon has a lot of trust. This source is trusted, right? Add to cart. This is also added to cart or something. New problems will arrive. We'll fix those new problems, honestly. They are in fact cheaper. Right. They're in fact cheaper. Or of similar prices. Oh, they're selling it for 109. Doesn't make any sense. And actually, could you tell me like this like RoboCraze DHT22 digital temperature and humidity sensor module, right? There's this, and there's like one product you said, which is like a BE033 BMP280 pressure sensor module, high precision, or replace BMP180 pack of two. Like what is? Okay, this is pack of two. So which one should I buy? Since you actually give it new name. Actually, the new thing that you told me is even cheaper than the older one for some reason. I don't know why. But there's another thing, guys. Like, okay, we can highlight what I didn't know that Control Z though. Okay, so this is what they are, right? If that doesn't work, we'll try to get that, I guess. At the start, we'll just set up like signal sending or something, right? Huh. There's just too much, man. Too much to do for a startup. I see that's why majority of the startup fails. There's just too much to learn. There's just too much to know, too much to create, too much to work upon, man. Literally too much, which is kind of satisfying in itself, honestly. You see what I'm saying, guys, right? So we have ESPDSU connected to our multiple systems. Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. Mm. So for example, you have a system. I think I need break and some food, I suppose. We've been effectively working for 2 hours, which is a good thing. But yeah, as my sleep is getting improvement, my workout, my everything is getting better, and or is gonna get better, I suppose, to some degree in the future. All right, so I think now we can know like my like how much heat my body is producing, right? So we can know an idea of like how much I'm actually producing and how that idea is true to reality. So we have sensors for that, sensors. Right, so we can have that, all right, but then we need like a learning algorithm. Like, yeah, that's another big thing that we need. Like, we can have sensors to kind of like validate our prediction. So we have like a body have certain amount. It's radiating certain amount of heat instantly. Environment is influencing that, right? So like, or something, and then it will get from the weather API or something to get the context of the outside environment. Get the then we can have sensors that can tell us, but it's gonna predict what's gonna be like the room environment and the temperature around my body from the outside environment, and then we'll have sensors that's gonna tell us if the prediction was true or false, right? That it did or something. So we can have like a feedback loop going on, and like yeah, and if it knows that if predictions were wrong, it can actually improve them, but that it needs data. Right. So we can have like improvement there too, and then its predictions can get better and better and better because there's an AI that's kind of like constantly iterating on the like predictions or something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna break. Just take a 1 minute break. I don't even know where to start from now. I mean, should I start building the software to kind of like connect, and when the finally what all of those things kind of arrive? I mean, let's go to cart. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna start with these three things first. Wait, what? Delivery my July. That's gonna take a lot of time. I don't have time that much. Like it says it needs to be 2 day delivery, right? I mean, it can arrive by July. I can like but I need sensors quickly. Mm, or we cannot get. It will arrive by 6 July. I think we have to wait that long. That's just too much of a wait. Tomorrow is 1 July. It will arrive 5 days later. That's a lot of time, man. Well, until then, like we won't be working tomorrow, so we will be working on 3. So it will arrive on the 5th day, so when we'll start working again. So I think it kind of works out for us, the delay, because our system in itself has delay. So yeah, we can now proceed to buy the entire thing. Not 9 items. Who's buying that shit? No way. This is all what my dad would buy for me. That's why you need some money. Yeah, some starting capital from your dad. Okay, man. Proceed to buy. Is there no coupon available or something? They will appear fast. They will appear by 5 July, 6 July, 3 July. So much money. Yeah. Now we have entire system. We can detect almost anything or almost everything, I suppose. So we can have like a body close to body temperature or something like, okay, body is constantly radiating heat, and how is that affecting? Like, yeah, I think a lot of time. Now that I think about it, man, building a business is like not easy at all, right? I mean, like building not a business but a startup. Like right now we're getting this done. I mean, we need to check a lot of stuff, and then yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, I'll come back from washroom, I suppose. Why is connection getting interrupted all the time? We got those stuff ordered right, like just right now. So if I go to my orders, yeah, we also have this coming. We also have this on Saturday. This arriving tomorrow. That's a lot of money, man. My mom would really. uh,
Yeah, this is one of those moments where the romantic image of startups crashes into reality.
I will come back from
People
washroom.
imagine, open quote, I have an idea, I build an app, people pay, close quote. But your journey has already looked like, open quote, I have an idea, wait, ACs aren't all smart, okay, use IR, wait, I need hardware, wait, I need sensors, wait, sensor placement matters, wait, how do I know if my equations are even correct? Close quote. And you're still at the very beginning. The thing is, this isn't a sign that your idea is bad. It's a sign that you're touching the real world. Software startups can sometimes get away with pretending reality doesn't exist. Hardware adjacent startups don't have that luxury. Physics shows up and starts asking questions. Your project is secretly several problems stacked together. 1. Control problem. How do I send commands to any AC? 2. Sensing problem. What is the room actually like? 3. Modeling problem. How do temperature, humidity, room size, occupancy, and weather interact? 4. Human problem. What does comfortable even mean? 5. Learning problem. How do I infer preferences from user actions? 6. Business problem. Will people pay enough for this to be worth building? Each one can consume months. But here's the interesting part. This complexity is also why good startups exist at all. If the answer were obvious, every engineer would build it over a weekend and the market would immediately become overcrowded. You're also discovering something else that founders often don't realize initially. Open quote, building a startup is mostly asking increasingly better questions. Close quote, today your questions are, which sensor, which board, how do I send IR? 6 months later, they might become, which variables actually predict comfort? Can I reduce energy consumption by 20%? Do users trust automatic temperature control? And 2 years later, is this a hardware company, a software company, or a data company? One practical piece of advice, don't try to solve all 6 problems at once. Your immediate goal is much smaller. Open quote, can I make my Daikin AC change temperature from code and measure the room? Close quote. That's it. If you can do only that, you've already crossed from I have an idea into I have an experiment. And experiments are where startups actually begin. Ideas are cheap. Experiments are where reality starts negotiating with you.
Yeah, I think I do need to do some research on thinking, guys. Like some research with ChatGPT and just with my thinking too. Right. So, like, yeah, this is like starting to look really what do you call that? Right. Like, yeah. I think because like the response by the ChatGPT was pretty efficient. If I'm being honest, right? I mean, let me just switch some devices, I suppose. Like, yeah, this is exactly what I needed. I can want this like this small thing here, like if you can see. Right, this allows me to kind of like talk to you guys even when I'm even when I'm moving. I do need to improve my setup too. I mean, I get it. Like setup matters a lot more than you think at this point. Right. So, well, and let me just connect this to my t-shirt. Right. So yeah, this gets connected to my t-shirt. Now you guys can hear me. Right. So we are my headphones. Hey, where the hell did I okay. I guess you can still hear me. Hello, hello. Let me just test it out. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, this one you can hear that. Hello. So yeah, I think you can pretty much hear me efficiently. Ah, the voice is too low. Yeah, you have to get it to max. The gain is low, but with my yeah. Okay, so like yeah, so I need to ask like some questions to ChatGPT. Okay, it gives really pretty efficient answers, and I can connect to multiple Bluetooth with my headphones simultaneously, right? That would give me the ability to like mm, I think there were something like yeah, this one. Well, first it's kind of like getting connected to my car or something. But I do need a lot of questions answered, right? Yeah, and I do need to sleep efficiently, man. This is what building a startup looks like, I suppose. Yeah, it's connected now. Let me just hear it once again. Like, there's the audio of like, yeah, it's not desktop audio, it's a headphone audio, so you will not be able to hear what it's saying. But yeah, to most degree, it does make sense. Yeah, people think I have an idea, I build an app, and people pay, but that's not how simple it is. Like, the more I think about it, it's more like I have an idea, and I'm like, okay, and then, okay, wait, like ACs are not smart at all. All right, and then you go on, okay, if ACs are not smart at all, then you have to use IR, and then, okay, I do not have IR in my phone, so I do need that like this chip that kind of like seamlessly controlled, but then I realized, oh, I need feedback too. That's why I need sensors, and I need, okay, like, this is like yeah, it gets increasingly complex, you know. And then sensor placement matters, like just ChatGPT says. So like that's another thing. It's like you start with like small things, but then it gets increasingly and increasingly complex or something. Smart, okay. Yeah, it takes a lot of time building these kind of stuff. Yeah, control problems. I think, guys, I think the thing with boring startups is that okay, if it's an app, people can copy. People like, but a startup like this, it's so fucking boring. Building like it's interesting to me, of course. Like definitely, it is interesting. But to be honest, guys, like don't you think too? Like it's kind of boring. Like no one wakes up and thinking, oh, how do I solve this AC problem? Oh, they do wake up with a problem that AC might fuck. If only these companies had a solution for this, like autonomous management of like AC or something. But these companies cannot have that. Although if they did have that, they would have already installed it. Because now I'm also seeing, because they need a lot of sensors in the AC, and the AC must constantly read out, like on the basis of environmental information and the software and all the things they have to build for it to work. Right. Something like that. And the thing with IR Blaster is that it does not have to work with AC. It can work with my fan too. But does my fan support IR receiver? No, it doesn't. But my downstairs fan do have that, so I can replace them with this one if I ask my parents to do such a thing, because I will say, okay, I'm doing a business or a startup or something like that. And the thing is, this is incredibly boring. This is not about YouTube. This is not, and it has an incredibly big market. If only we can capture that market, that's an entire different equation. But like, if you can say, there's like, we have 500. It's a billion. Like, it's like the number is not billion, but the number that we reached, it's 800 or 900 million. Like, yeah, that's how big the market is. Like, that's how many ACs are circulating in the world right now. Like 900 million. So even if you get like not like $1 from like a million, that's already $1 million monthly business or something. So yeah. Our company is like hardware company, a software company, and a data company, because we can collect data on users, which allows us to predict efficiently. That happens through a software, but then software needs a hardware for it to efficient perfectly or something. Right. So yeah. But yeah, we can have better and better predictions. So like our system can make better. We can have a learning algorithm, or like algorithm or something that can learn. I guess that would be great. And I think I need to build these systems differently. Like every system part would need to have its own folder, so I can connect them the dots. I should not actually get all of them into like a one folder or something. No, not at all. And I wouldn't be building everything at the same time. That's one of the biggest mistake I did. Like no, you won't be. You would break it down in parts. You would add the parts later, and then you'll yeah. Yeah. But I think the market is very, very big for AC. Like the market is really, really big. But especially when it comes to smart AC, and ACs are getting smarter over time. But yeah, a huge amount of ACs out there in the world who still works on IR or something. But the thing is, like ACs are getting smarter, right? But I do know like there's a really good way to actually test the equations, right? Like this is entirely off context for a sec. We'll kind of drift. It's like okay, when we have sensors, like what we can do is like we can take an like a software that can actually get like weather API or something, and then it can predict like the environments around me and the environment in the room, and the sensors would act as a like as a feedback mechanism to tell it okay how much off it was. But then again, it can know it was off, but how would it know that what was the reason it was off or something, right? And then we can like yeah, that's another thing. So we can get feedback, but we'll still not like the system would still won't be able to yeah, because like complexity is too much. I mean in this system like yeah, and the market is really big, like but that's it. Like how can you have like the AC market is really really big, sensitivity. I realize it's like more than it's just in China alone there's more 100 like there's more like yeah, China is the highest amount of AC in the world, so yeah, that's another reason. But in India it's more than 27 million or something ACs, like functional units circulating in the market. And in China it's about 560 million or something, or somewhere like over 500 million AC units. It's like if you have that, that means there's obviously a market for it, right? Like yeah, and even if like the personal use market, so it's like the business is like there. You can do business in this market. especially about when it comes to like automatic control. And I've seen this problem with not just my family, but with everywhere around. It's like people do constantly change temperature, and if a software can just simply understand and do that, you do not even need to like, yeah, I think I should start with personal level. That's why I said, right. And we like, yeah, and now you're saying, okay, is it a software company or a hardware company or data company? I think at the first it's just software, but you do need some hardware to kind of like have some feedback to from the from like, yeah, software needs some feedback from the hardware, right? And yeah, it is also data, because like over time it can understand context. Okay, if this is the temperature, if this is the, let's say, the city, and if this is like, especially like, it shouldn't work on city, like, yeah, it should work like context should be work on temperature, room size, like the AC and the like the power of the AC, right? And yeah, so it can actually pretty much predict over time how long, like under this temperature, this AC would take to cool down, because like I think like, yeah, the data starts to add up, and then we can store the data. So over time, efficiently, it would know, right? Things like those or something. Right. So yeah, and then it can like, yeah, the person, and then once again I told about ideal body temperature, which is really hard to calculate, right? So it can also get a basic prior prediction, right? Which can act tell this approx, like how much someone prefers or something. But still, then like, yeah, it is a hard question to like, answer, or yeah, it is not an easy solution, man. And especially, I think I would never be able to scale it to the point where it kind of like works. Right. I mean, for the hotels or something, because like if you have a like, but I did realize these sensors are kind of cheap. You can build that up for about like a 1,000 to 1,500 between that for per room or something. So yeah, like that's kind of possible that we can build something that could actually be work for hotels or something. For like, if you try to scale it, but first we need to answer: can I build a system that works just for one person, and then we can see if it's scalable to like to a lot. But yeah. But if it can scale, not because like, if it can generally like, scale, and if you have the constraints that work in our favor, then man, I mean, like, yeah, we fucking win actually. Like, yeah, but yeah, like, because we can create a sensor control hub for ACs or something. Like, yeah, we can do a lot of things with it. Like, I just need to think what things can be done and what trade-offs are there, what trade-offs are not there, and then we'll try to figure out like, yeah, because this is a problem and solution. Like, yeah, we need to create better solutions. But then again, the biggest question is solution, or creating a solution, is even possible, right? That's the biggest question. So yeah, we would see if it works out or not, though. They buy because the pain is painful enough. Over AC hotel trying to reduce energy bills. Energy optimization. Can I achieve except using less electricity? Yeah. But conditions matter too. I think for some reason, I think, guys, this problem is not solvable for some reason. Oh yeah, telling my girlfriend I built that would be so fucking awesome. can I learn preferences? That is the $1,000,000 question here. I can build the sensor, I can check the thing, but can I, just for myself, can I build preferences? Right? Can this system, without me telling it anything, can ever learn? Right? Like, yeah, by itself. Yeah, that's the thing. Believe success metric work for me, work for family, work. There is not can I build. You certainly can. The biggest uncertainty is human thermal comfort predictable enough? Perceive system as magical rather than annoying. This is empirical. Nobody can answer it from a chair. Did experiment tell you more than thousands of hours of theorizing? Yeah, that is absolutely true. How about we start building software so that when the like basic of software rather than like yeah. Because I mean like I have actually switched so many times the AC up and down since morning. And these days in the past I didn't used to keep track of it. But right now I'm tracking how many times I've used this button to change the temperature. And let's just hope that it works out in our favor. Right. Yeah. Yeah, because we are creating a learning algorithm, right? We are not creating a simple algorithm that just changes the temperature. We are creating the one that learns by you changing the temperature over time too. So I think that is where the moat lies because once it learns, like that just makes everything easier. Like I just need to test it on myself. If it works on me, if it works for one person, that means it is scalable for hundreds of thousands of people. Right. Yeah, because since morning I've changed my room temperature so many times. Like people don't realize it. At some point it becomes unconscious, but I do realize it that when you are a new AC consumer, I've been using AC for the last 5 years, ChatGPT. But what I do realize that like for new customers that's a pain in the ass because like when I look back in the past when we really had the new AC, we also had this problem. This is a real problem. Like it is not too big of a problem, but it's a big problem, a big pain in the ass. Especially it AC temperature controlling it for a lot of people is initially hard at the start, but over time, like I said, they get used to it, which is the problem. Because like yeah, even when they get used to it, having like autonomous control is really good if it can actually work. First thing. Second thing, like the real second thing here is that like it disrupts sleeps a lot of time. My dad even told me that these like at the start it was so problematic. I still remember. So the problem is real, existing. I've seen it here from a lot of people. It does exist in hotels and washroom everywhere. Like you go, there's always a complaint that AC are either too cold or are either too hot. Like it's always a complaint, right? So the problem do exist. But then again, can we reliably create a software that could actually learn from a person's preferences and actually build something like yeah great value for them or something like that? You see what I mean, right? Value never having to think about AC settings again. You don't know that. Yeah, how much people would value that thing or that solution? The problems exist all everywhere. Like how much do they value it? But I think they would value it. Like I am changing, I would value it. Let's imagine if I had, this is my startup. All right, guys, you can comment down in section, but let's imagine you would never have to care about changing your AC setting for let's say a year, and all you have to do is just give me $1. Would you do it? Would you give me $1 to never have to think about changing your AC or fan? I guess we have to find out. Oh, I think we can go on Reddit and do an experimentation there too to actually know if people would care about such a solution. But yeah, yeah, Reddit. My girlfriend did told me that she do a lot of research on Reddit. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even have an account on Reddit, but we can use Reddit as an information source to know whether something's gonna work out or not, guys. Yeah, we can use Reddit. Like, let me just. Right, I can ask ChatGPT if Reddit is worth the time or no. Or dive into anything. Bro, that scared me. Okay, on the screen. I just Okay. This power off. Oh, this son of a bitch is not listening at all. For some reason. Okay, now it's listening? No, it's not. This son of a bitch is not working. I think I had. Okay, this works here because I have two audio input. It works here, but it doesn't work in that setting. Okay, man, you weren't hearing anything I was saying all this time. Let's just add another source then. Source audio input capture. Okay. Then we have Boya. Okay. Now this works, right? Yeah. So now you may hear it two times, but let's just close Boya one for now. Yeah, this works, I suppose, if it effectively or something. Yeah, let me just put this in its shell again or something, I suppose. Yeah, and I think the charger can keep on getting connected. I mean, yeah, so they have like a red light, so I think they are not connected. But now, as soon as they came out, they get connected. Then the box, they are not getting connected then. Right, so yeah. Equation. Yeah, but I'm still not like satisfied with the equations, right? But let's just make, yeah. But ChatGPT, okay, not ChatGPT. But Gemini, like, why are we actually coding like BSA, body surface area, in System 1? So let's start building System A, which take inputs. Like, yeah, create a code. Like, yeah, just System A. Like, yeah, it'll create a prompt to generate System A, like an efficient prompt. But what I want you to do is like, yeah, ask it to actually generate an explanation too and tell me what it did. and what it built it. Because like, yeah, this is like a mobile application that we're trying to build here. But we are only going to build system A. Like it takes input or something, like a basic mobile application that tries to take inputs and tell you your optimal IBT or something. Yeah. Which is, of course, ideal body temperature. Right. Let's go for that. It doesn't calculate anything else, like the environmental heat, watts, anything, nothing. It just calculates, like, yeah, the two things, like you said. BSA and like BMR, and it just try to calculate how much, like, watts of heat you generate. Right. Then how do we calculate ideal body temperature? Wait a sec, guys. I want to check something. I should take a break soon. Yeah. So it's like BSA per pipeline. BSA calculate ita, BR ita, and then ideal T ideal run the ultimate code equation. Now we see the equation that puts your baseline. Let's break this down. Fraction plain English target skin comfort. Golden rule of biology. Your skin is perfectly continent boundary layer of target is touching exactly at 30 degrees Celsius. R if a user has massively internal furnace or inputs on the 6 sweater. This is your radiator size. 10% you are tall and linear BSA is large. So yeah, now what I want you to do is do exactly this. Now create a prompt which teaches, like, tells the AI to build an application. We'll never calculate IBT. We'll predict what their IBT would be in the given context. Yeah, that updates the software by margins. That updates the software by margins. This is thank you, ChatGPT. Actually, then remove the part where it calculates IBT from the equations, because let's say like yeah, it would never predict, like it would never actually calculate IBT. It would just take information and tells you that information are stored or something. And like yeah, it will generate everything. It's just that it will never calculate ideal baseline temperature called IBT. Heat am I generating? This is just answering how much heat you are generating. Finally, some code generation, man. So now we can have like a code generation, like in one window, AI running in another window. Like yeah, I do not need multiple screens honestly when I'm just reading books. Right. Of course, I'm gonna accept changes. How do I run it? Yeah, and actually, I wanted to generate a mobile application, like literally a mobile application, like a front end, which kind of like takes these inputs and yeah, the back end that kind of calculate it and shows it on the front end or something. Yeah, I need connections, right? Yeah, so just create a prompt that I can send to AI, which can build it for me. It can, it never calculates. Yeah, it never knows your IBT, ideal body temperature. It just calculates it. All right. Yeah, so it doesn't actually like sorry, it doesn't like yeah, its job is only one thing, calculating your ideal body temperature. That is its only job, or how much cooling it needs to do. And like once it calculates it, it automatically sets like according to the environment, like what kind of temperature should your body be experiencing right now to maintain that. um yeah, this generates heats, but like your body's trying to maintain 33 degrees of like yeah, so like I'm failing. I'm failing. I'm failing. I haven't parted components. I'm failing. I'm not able to design this. No, not failing in terms of not able to design this, failing in terms, yeah, I'm fucking this over. I mean, I haven't designed the architecture. I haven't designed the architecture. First of all, okay, what should you consistently track? IBT, ideal body temperature, control the, what just happened? Autofill or something? T. What do you even track? IBT, or do you need to track, like we can track IBT, but we can also track what? What's the output AC needs to send? I don't know. Okay, it's design accept all. There are some error in the files. Could you please fix them? Ah, and it explains what it's doing on the like platform or something, I suppose. That is just do its job or something. Yeah, how do you link a system? And then how do you improve it? So first of all, example, we need to calculate not IBT, we need to calculate watts of heat you're producing. Someone is producing. Then we need like, yeah, so this is like, yeah, the system A. Then we need system B, which is environment. How much heat environment is generating. I truly don't know. How do you generate it? So first of all, here, body heat, body temperature or something. System to environmental temperature. It's still running. A lot of errors have been fixed. Now, what's body generating? Create a txt file that explains everything and all the components, and also tells me how to run this, run the the app. I don't know anymore. No, these are actually the hard part. How do I use anti-gravity IDE to run all this? Oh man, I'm feeling tired. Let's do this after when I've eaten or something. Because yeah, and only then I would be able to see. But then again, NMP start. This will boot it. Oh, it just generated like that. Whoa, was it that easy? Oh my gosh. I just need to scan QR code. Wait, what? So my app is here on the mobile screen. Right. Yeah, unfortunately for you guys, you can't see it right now, I guess. But it's loading. Yeah. Now it should function to some degree. Something, sorry, we can go back to project. What? Developmental build. Run phone on Windows. What does phone link does? It's like, let me just open that system. Maybe you can link phone and run it. We can link, right? We need to connect to the same Wi-Fi or something. Done. Maybe you can phone link or something. Yeah, let's just install phone link or something. I think then you'll be able to see it too, I suppose. All right. Then you guys and I would have an easier time, I guess, if they are linked or something, honestly. More than 1 billion downloads. What? Oh my gosh. Huh, we did got the basic structure done, but guys, I think okay, that's backspace. But what I do think, guys, is like what we genuinely need is like okay, I cannot show my messages or call, right? I mean, this is kind of personal information, so I'll take phone link there and only show it when you need to see it, okay? It shows offline. It's still not connecting for some reason. I think this was the account. It couldn't access the computer. What? Show me QR code. Okay, wait a sec. Damn, this is time taking. But I guess we have to push this through, man. This is building structure, I suppose. I did open phone link. What happened, man? It's not opening. Oh, it is opening now, finally. Fuck sakes. Ah, they are connected. Oh my gosh, finally they are connected, guys. Over Bluetooth, I guess. Yeah. We can say mirror to PC. Yeah, it's mirroring. Can show you guys that. Okay, fuck that. Wait a sec. Ah, that's actually awesome. I won't say this is like no, there is some lag, but I guess it's way better. Like guys, if I were to show you, this is what's happening. Latest version. Okay, I mean, let me go to Play Store. But aha, this is actually bad. This is kind of really laggy, making my phone. Both of the systems are becoming laggy. We have to make a what scanner, so we have to get like XPGO. Okay, keyboard is not appearing because okay, you have to type from the there, huh? I mean, I do have the current version, guys. I do have the latest version. What's it even talking about? And I do open it up. Scan QR code. But it shows this bitch. Control C. Control V. Okay, Control C does something. Okay, man. Okay, okay. Let's open terminal. How about I try to run this on PowerShell? I don't think so. It's gonna start, is it? Start. Nope. It's only gonna work on command shell, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got it. Now let's try one last time. If it still shows the same error. Okay, wait a sec. Okay, project is incompatible with this version of XPGO. So how do I XPGO update or something? Should I install it or something here? I have the latest version installed, guys. Literally, I have the latest version installed. Let me just uninstall and install. But now I can't run it because it would be. This is actually a hot pot. Maybe I need a YouTube video at this point. Yeah, and this makes my computer laggy too. Yeah, and now it's blocked. I need to ask for permission or something. Oh, let's do that later once we have got the afternoon something. Yeah, we'll have to do it differently then. We got no choice. But yeah, I'll build a better system that actually does a better job than this stupid system that we have built. Right, you have to do that, and yeah, there are lots of more work coming, baby. But yeah, it will take a lot of time. For now, let's bye, guys. Wait, what? Stop.